So you want to buy a Grumman Goose. That's an ambitious undertaking. Even if money's no issue, anything that's spent 80 years floating in a lake is going to require some attention. The truth is that anybody looking for the performance of a goose is more likely to lean towards a Cessna Caravan or Quest Kodiak on floats. But what the goose lacks in practicality, it makes up for in charm and good looks. The performance numbers of the goose really do tell the tale. It's a floating dump truck, but not much else. Useful load is an impressive 2,500 pounds, but it takes 300 pounds of fuel to keep this thing in the air for an hour. A full tank weighs over 1,300 pounds. Add a pilot and you're down to 1,000 pounds, so if you really do want to move something, you're not moving it very far. So you can see why someone who wants to lift stuff and float would lean towards Kodiaks and Caravans. Legend has it that there are less than 30 Grumman geese flying today. Gooses? If you are interested in buying, you're going to have to look hard to find one. There are none posted for sale right now, but the last few that sold went for a little more than $500,000. So, operating cost. This is where it gets interesting. Insurance is expensive, but honestly not as expensive as I was expecting. It's a 7,500 pound antique that you store in a pond and occasionally blast through the air at breakneck speed. I would have expected more. Hangar's expensive. Need a big hangar for a big airplane. The annual was a tough one. There aren't many of these around, and it's hard to track down information. You should know that the sample size used to average this data was pretty small, but it's probably not that far off. Fuel is pretty accurate. It burns 50 gallons an hour. That costs about $250. It's powered by two Pratt & Whitney radial engines that actually were used a lot in crop dusters. Pratt & Whitney never published a TBO for these, and instead operators like to use oil consumption as an indicator for when the engine may be due for an overhaul. On average, they last between 1,000 and 1,400 hours. Hourly maintenance is in the same boat as annual. It'll vary for sure, but it's definitely a lot. Add it all up and it comes out like this, per hour, per mile, and per year. There are certainly more practical ways to float and fly around 1,500 pounds or so, but few are as cool as a Grumman Goose. In any case, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next.